Hello and welcome to this Flames of War version 4 battle report. I'm playing against my son today and teaching him the basics.
Hey,
and hey, alright, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's go through and talk about the mission and all that other wonderful stuff. So the mission is Total Annihilation. We kept it very, very simple. And we're just looking at the turn sequence of your starting, movement, and shooting. That's it. And we have our deployment. The Americans got to deploy first. They have a confident veteran M4 Sherman company. Your company commander's there. You got one platoon there, one platoon there. On the German side of the table, that would be me. It is the Panzer IV. I have my company commander here, one platoon here, and one platoon here. I wasn't looking on the basis of points. I was just looking on the number of tanks. These are woods. This is the wheat field. They don't block line of sight, but they do provide concealment. The woods can block line of sight depending how far away you are from it. You have to roll a cross check in order to cross into it. Same thing for the wheat fields. And then down here we have a slight hill here, the homemade special. So with that, we're going to start with American turn 1. Alright, so here we are at the end of American turn 1. The American tanks attempted to cross into the woods, and, well, half of this platoon made it, the company commander made it, and only one guy made it into the woods. Can you imagine that? Now for this, we're just rolling a cross check just to get into the woods from the outside. Alright, that's it for the American half of turn 1. Upcoming, Germans. Okay, so here we are at the end of German turn 1. My platoon commander here failed his cross-check. These guys here, they made it. One shot was taken at the Sherman. It was like, I needed a 6 to hit. It was like 4 for the basic to hit, 5 because of the concealment offered by the wheat field here, and then 6 for the long range. And then over here with these guys, I just moved up and I angled this so in case he's trying to shoot that way, I've got coverage. So that's the method to my madness. And with that, we're on to American turn 2. Okay, so here we are at the end of American turn 2. My son, for some reason, kept rolling my guards dice because I have the old school American dice. And his guys just did not move in this platoon. So he's cursed my Russian guards dice. I don't know what I'm going to do to get the dice power back, so to speak. Okay, however, while one tank failed to move here, I swapped out the dice. He brought these 3 Shermans here, knocked out one of my tanks, bailed out another. Not too shabby. So we're now at the top half, the bottom half of turn 2. Okay, so we're at the bottom half, the end of turn 2, and the firefights have erupted. So, German Mark IV unbailed, and they fired on the Shermans here, resulting in one being bailed out, one being destroyed. So far, 1 kill to 1 kill. These guys also fired, but with no effect. Okay, so now we're starting on turn 3. Here we are at the end of American turn 3. These Shermans decided to go here, and these guys did come into command, except for this poor fellow here. Company commander just can't seem to move in the woods. These guys shot, no effect. This guy moved to here, shot at those guys, and again, no effect. So, we'll see what happens with the German half. Alright, the end of German turn 3. The platoon shifted. They were joined by the company commander to fire on those Shermans there, and we got one blown up, and that was it. And then over here, our platoon leader finally joined our platoon, firing on these Shermans to absolutely no effect whatsoever. So now we're at the top of American turn 4. Okay, as we finish off the American half of turn 4, Finally, his guys got unstuck out of the woods, did some movement, and started shooting, bailing out one of my tanks, specifically my platoon leader. Okay. And yes, I failed a mistaken target rule. Okay, and the company commander was able to move up and shoot and bail out this guy. These guys, despite their efforts, did nothing to these guys. This is like a long-range standoff. So here it is as we're going to the bottom half of turn 4. Here we are at the end of turn 4. The Panzer IV platoon moved forward, except this guy, he loves being in the wheat fields, and they decided to shoot along with the commander moving and destroyed one more Sherman, and he's now the new platoon commander. Over here for this lone platoon, the turrets were swung to fire on the lone company commander, and guess what? They all missed. Okay, so it's not over yet, folks. You get the Skycan gives the quick overview of the field. And that's it for turn 4. Okay, here we are at the bottom half of American turn 5. Americans have been doing some movement, as you can see with the Sherman moving, fired on my tanks, been doing some wonderful shooting. As you can see, one blew up, one bailed out. Over here, the Shermans decided to move forward. The company commander stayed behind, and this platoon got severely mauled. I've got 2 bailed out, and I've got one that the turret is literally flying in the air as a result of this. So, yeah, that was my son's idea. I'm going to give him credit for this one. Okay, well, we're going to see what happens at the beginning of the German turn, because I might be losing something. We'll see. Bottom half of turn 5, it got nasty. I was able to unstuck this guy from the grain field over to here to fire. No effect. I've got a bailed out Mark IV. I got the company commander and the other Mark IV firing. One's destroyed, one is bailed out. I have no left flank to talk about. So my son might be having an advantage here, and there's 4 American tanks that are ready to rock and roll. Okay, as we pull back, and we're going into American turn 6. So here we are at the end of the top half of turn 6. With the Germans not having a left flank to talk about, the Americans that were here swung over to the hilltop and started laying fire down on what was left of the German Kampfgruppe. At the end of the day, though, this one was destroyed. The company commander survived. So now the question comes down to is here, the next turn for the Germans, if he doesn't remount, they have to take a unit last stand test. If they fail that, it's game over. That's how close this is, folks. We're almost at the end. Stay tuned. End of turn 6, and the Germans have decided to move the Mark IVs off to the side here to shoot, resulting in 2 bailed out Shermans. The company commander moved to get a side shot and missed. All right, we're now switching over to American turn 7. All right, so the American Sherman here took a last stand and left the field. 1 out of 2 bailed guys. They remounted, poured all their fire into these guys, making 1 hit, but the shot glanced off, and it's now German turn 7. End of turn 7 for the Germans. Stand and deliver. They fired. They bailed 1 Sherman, took out another Sherman. And this company commander can't see squat. So that's it. We're now going to turn 8. It should be resolved, folks. Wow, American turn 8. 1 guy remounted, the other guy's still out of it, and they passed their last stand test. And over here, wow, what can I say except I'm getting lucky. I only got one guy who was hit, penetrated, and failed the firepower test. We're going on to German turn 8. Alright, and with that, the beginning of German turn 8, I failed to remount, then I had to take the last stand for my unit. Failed. I could not re-roll because my commander, my company commander, was off to the side. It's over. The Germans quit the field. The Americans take it. Oh, what a slugfest, folks. Good fight. Good night.